Welcome to Vitality Radio, where we empower you to gain control in order to take your health and vitality to the next level. And now, here's your host, Dr. Linell King. Actually, this is Joe going to introduce Dr. Linell King. Doctor, how are you doing today?
I am wonderful. Outstanding.
It is great to have you here. I'm really excited about Dr. King's going to have a show on, an hour-long show, which can always get longer. So a lot of people are already telling me they want it longer. I'm going to introduce you to him, and he's going to start doing some shows for us. Dr. King, Dr. Linell King, internal physician, author of the book Mastering Your Vitality, all around very good at health and nutrition and everything that goes along with it. Dr. King, great to have you.
Well, it's great to be here. I appreciate you and everything that you're doing here at OCD Studios. We have done a lot of great things already on your show, The Joe Show, and it was a wonderful idea to put this show together, Vitality Radio. I love it.
It's going to be great. Well, let me start by asking, what type of scenario is your show going to be like? You start off, or you're going to have obviously several topics, I take it?
What I want to do is I want to empower people. I want to really give them, not only just give them information, but also bring them people that have implemented a lot of this stuff in their own lives and done, has created wonderful things with their own life. So, for instance, I do interviews with various experts, some TV personalities, people that are doing wonderful things that have great information and bringing that to the audience. Also, there are a lot of people that have created enormous breakthroughs in their own life, whether they've lost 60, 70, 80 pounds.
Success stories.
Exactly. People that have reversed chronic diseases that, no one thought was possible. Because hearing the average person, hearing the stories of just average people that took their life into their own hands, took their health into their own hands, and was able to do it, will give people hope and let them know that they could do the same for themselves.
I would think that there's music playing. I would think that would be one of the most rewarding parts of that would be to have somebody overcome something. And do you think, generally speaking, that people are not in touch with their own health? Generally speaking, not only are people not in touch with their own health, but they've just given up. They've given up control. It's like they're riding in a runaway car. Right, and they're asking someone else to take care of their life, their health.
Exactly. And so they're not taking control over the steering wheel, yet there's no one else there.
Wow.
So the car's just going on its own. And there's no one else there. Another analogy that I use is riding in a boat that's just going along with the current.
Yeah.
There's no one rowing, there's no one steering, there's no motor.
Not under power.
And usually most currents end up at a waterfall.
Yeah. Or somewhere they don't want to be, like in the middle of the ocean.
Absolutely.
That is an excellent, quality about your show, is that people that, like you said, they give up, or they just think they're leaving it up to somebody else. So, to take care of your own health, it would seem that one of the things you need to do is, of course, get involved and find out, what signs are. Maybe there's things happening to people they don't even realize is a sign.
Yes.
And so once these people start getting involved in their health, they're going to, like you said, it's going to be the best thing for them. That's the best thing, is get them involved in their own health care.
Absolutely. Because a lot of things that we experience every single day, we just attribute it to getting older.
Right.
Or, that's just my arthritis acting up.
Right.
Or, I have a sore back. And it becomes a part of their identity. And it's their body screaming at them, saying, help, listen to me. Hey.
It's amazing. The questions sometimes is not even asked, why do I have this
Yes.
going on? Or even worse yet, they would, because I know I've done this in my past until I got involved in my health, is I have this issue and I blame it. Oh, it's because I have this. Well,
Yes.
those two issues that I have could point to what the real problem.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's very important. That's why this show is doing a great service, because you are you're going to be getting people involved and taking care of themselves.
Right. Imagine this. Just picture this. So you have a newborn baby, or not even a newborn baby, just a baby, and the baby's crying. Not very loud, but just kind of crying, cranky or whatever. The first thing that you do is what?
I would be like, what's wrong with the baby?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Go check on it.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
If you ignore that baby, what's going to happen?
It's going to probably keep crying.
Right. And then if you keep ignoring, the baby's going to cry louder, and it's going to
freak.
louder.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just start screaming.
Yeah.
So imagine I walk into the room where the baby's screaming and hollering, and I close the door so I can't hear the baby anymore and walk away.
I see what you're saying. That's when you shut down. Yeah.
Right?
I get it.
Oh, problem solved. I just closed the door.
Yeah.
Well, someone would call child abuse on me,
Yeah.
Child Protective
Yeah.
Services.
Which is another way of saying you've just entered into a world of hurt, and something very bad is going to happen now.
Yes. So that hip pain, that stomach upset, that bloating feeling, that chronic cough, that shortness of breath, all of these things is the baby crying.
Wow.
It's saying, hello, pay attention to me. I'm trying to give you a sign that something is wrong. But what do? We close the door. How do we close the door? We reach for a medication, whether it be Tylenol,
Right.
Percocet, Tums, Prilosec. It's the American way, and it's becoming the worldly way.
That's true, and that's exactly it, because I can't think of how many times just talking to you or right now that I'm like, my stomach hurts, take a Zantac. Mom, why? Oh, because, I have to take a Zantac. Well, but why? I mean, if people just did that alone, played the psychologist with their own body,
Yes.
In other words, ask the questions that bring them back to what's really going on, the
Yes.
underlying problem. That's, it's amazing. Just this little talk we're having here, I'm seeing flashes in my face in my brain of why do I have my headaches? Why do I have this? Why do I have that? Or why would anybody? So wow, you're right. We do get disconnected, don't we?
Yes, absolutely. And we just chalk it up as normal. Oh, I always get a headache at this time in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know a friend of mine who out of the, must have drank Mountain Dew every single morning of his life. It was his coffee, which I'm sure Mountain Dew's got to be way worse than coffee. But he, all of a sudden, he's like, I'm going to stop drinking this stuff. And I'm sure you know what happened after that.
Absolutely. Caffeine withdrawal.
Massive headaches.
Yes.
Literally confusion, agitation. And he actually had, and he's a smart guy, but he had no idea why he was having headaches. And I knew right away. I'm like,
right.
Dude, I know you. I've known you for, 6 years. You have a Mountain Dew every morning, and then you drink about 4 more through the day. I go, you took away Mountain Dew and this is all happening. How do you not notice this? So some people really do get seriously disconnected. Is there any help for people that are that far gone?
There's always help.
Yeah.
The first thing is just waking up and saying, hey, something is wrong. That's just acknowledging your body, acknowledging that something's not right, and making a decision that you're going to do something about it.
Right.
That's the first step.
Instead of grabbing a pill, instead of just saying this is the way it is and moving on.
That's correct.
Okay.
Seeking information, seeking the truth, seeking knowledge, seeking a solution rather than covering up or putting a Band-Aid on it.
You know what? A fine example of even how when I had help with the doctor, I was told that, hey, you're where you're from, nationality, it might have a lot to do with this, but you may be predisposed to bad cholesterol and, high bad cholesterol, low good. And so I changed my diet. I started working out because I wanted to fix this without meds.
Absolutely.
10, 15 years ago. And he put me on a diet. And nobody until literally, and I'm not joking with you, Dr. King, I'm a pretty smart guy. I'm not stupid. And I know about my body pretty well. I know a lot of things. I can name almost all my bones. I can name my muscles. I've gotten into this. And the doctor tells me, what's your sugar intake like? I'm like, oh, I love sugar. I eat sugar all the time. He's like, well, hello? I mean, why do you think your cholesterol is bad? And I looked at him like he was a fool. I'm like, what does sugar
have to do with
cholesterol? And the doctor's like, excuse me? And I'm like, oh, yeah, right. So I've been having a cholesterol problem my whole life, and you're telling me it's because of too much sugar. Guess what, Dr. King? It was because of too much sugar. I literally curbed my sugar, and I'm not kidding you. It's the only thing that worked because it was the only thing that was causing my problem.
Yes.
Because I was eating healthy. I just loved sugar. Excuse me. I love sugar. So, and that's exactly, I'm not kidding you. Within a month, my bad cholesterol dropped like a rock. My good cholesterol went up and everything else. And by the way, a lot of other problems, I wouldn't say got solved, but got better.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's a fine example. Just ignorance. And now let me ask you a question. Is this a new finding? Because why didn't the doctors tell me this? I mean, I went to specialists that never mentioned sugar.
Well, this is the thing. As physicians, we tend to focus on the problem, the disease. I told you a little bit about my story earlier where the reason why I even got into health and vitality is through what I went through with my dad. Right. My dad was healthy. I mean, if you looked at him, he looked like he worked out every day and he just worked out in the field and did manual labor. He was a plumber by trade and he was the director of the housing authority in Alabama and ran a little country convenience store. He just worked like he was the hardest worker I knew, and he looked like the picture of health. He moved our family from Los Angeles to Alabama to be more healthy, to grow our own food.
Really, I mean, you even went to that route.
Yeah, because
wow,
I was 10 years old, and he says, you know what? Probably Los Angeles is not the best place for to grow up to raise an African American male, not just from a stress level or a unhealthy lifestyle level, but just from the gangs there.
Oh no, yeah,
and peer pressure.
If you're not in a gang, something wrong with you, and you're pressured to be.
Yeah, it's the statistics aren't great, and so he also wanted to live clean, fresh air, not depend on processed foods and things of that nature, the smog in LA and just the stress level. And so we moved to Alabama. I don't know why he thought Alabama was better for African American male.
Even in the racial aspect.
I'm like, hello.
yeah. This time the same thing, but to talk like this.
We got other problems here.
Oh, Dr. Q, that's great.
Yeah, but we had pigs, chickens, ducks, cows.
Now, how old were you at this?
I was 10. Yeah, I was 10 years old.
So you were there. You knew what was going around. You knew your surroundings.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. I had a fishing pole on one shoulder and a shotgun on the other. I could be a boy. I could tear up stuff and not go to jail. It was great.
So you really enjoyed the move?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. And the best part about it was I didn't need television. I had all the entertainment right there in my backyard.
Yeah.
Watching my mom and dad try to live the country life when they're city people. It was like the Beverly Hillbillies in reverse. It was hilarious.
A little easier to adapt when you're pliable and young like that. And not to mention that's your world that would, for it's a child could just open up. You've got the outdoors, you got trees, creeks, rivers, hills, mountains, and just like you said, a horrible shock to older people.
Yeah, and the closest McDonald's was literally 40 minutes away.
Fantastic.
And so I thought we were living healthy. And all my life, it was just I didn't see anything, no one was obese or, my mom smoked. That was pretty much her only vice. And my dad didn't smoke. He quit a long time ago. And so there was nothing that I thought we were doing that would bring about any disease or illness.
Right. Like if somebody would have asked, what's going on with your parents? You wouldn't know what are you talking about?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
And so one day I'm in my residency at Johns Hopkins and I get a phone call from my mom. And my mom says, your dad's not really been, he's had some indigestion. I took him to the doctor and they told him that he had a mass on his pancreas. And that hit me like a ton of bricks.
Wow, I would imagine so. Just real quick for my brain, pancreas is not far from your prostate, correct?
No. So a lot of people get pancreas and prostate mixed up.
Okay.
So the pancreas is the organ that is in control over, well, not in control over, but it helps with digestion of fat.
Right.
It also regulates the blood sugar.
Yeah, it's responsible for diabetes, is it not? Or not responsible
Right,
for it.
exactly.
Right.
It plays a very important role. It's on the opposite side of the liver.
How come they can't
And it's
do it?
one of the larger organs in the abdomen.
Okay.
And so the thing about the significance of that is that once now you got me saying prostate. Once pancreatic cancer is diagnosed, that comes with a 4-month death sentence.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
4-month death sentence. And so
Because it spreads through the body, because that's exactly what that organ does. Is
well, not only that, but by the time symptoms develop,
I gotcha.
it's already too far gone.
Okay.
That's the issue. And it's an aggressive tumor. It grows pretty fast. So
now, no matter what type of tumor it's aggressive? Or
in
is
the
it just
pancreas,
because
yes.
it's pancreas?
Well, pancreatic cancer is that in itself is usually a certain type of cancer, certain type of cancer cells.
Because of the kind of cells the pancreas is made
Exactly.
of. Okay, gotcha.
Exactly. And so being that I was already a physician and I was in my residency, I knew, the minute that she said pancreas, I was just like, I was blown away. I'm like, you sure that they didn't say prostate? Because that's a slower growing
Right, and it's
cancer.
actually treatable.
And it's treatable.
Yeah.
Exactly. So there's a big difference. And she says, no, I'm pretty sure they said pancreas.
I'm pretty sure. As a doctor, you were probably scratching at the door at that point wanting to know which one it was.
Yeah. And so, I had to fly home and I had to have the hardest conversation I've ever had in my life, to tell my dad that the textbooks say that he's not going to be around in 4 months. This was my hero. This is the guy that meant everything to me. Like without him, the world did not exist. He was the best man at my wedding. He was, we just were very tight. And him and my mom were very tight. They had a very loving relationship, very close. And they were a unit. And to tell my mom, that her best friend.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Because she's like, wow, pancreatic cancer, we're going to have a battle. I'm sure she's crushed, but, we got a battle.
Right,
You're kind of.
right. She didn't know the significance. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
that the battle is not there.
Right. Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Dr. King. That's
yeah, and it was tough. And so I asked him. I said, "So what do you want to do?" He says, "Well, I want to fight. I'm not going to just lay down and die." That's the way my dad was.
Now he knew that he was in big trouble.
Well, this is the thing. My dad was he didn't really follow the rules. He didn't just accept what was handed to him. I mean, this is a guy that dropped out of high school to take care. He was number 13 of 13 kids. He dropped out of high school to help support his family. He was number 13 out of 13.
No, he didn't drop out. He went.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, he went to take care of his family.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so then later he got his GED. Then he became a plumber. And then he worked his butt off as a plumber in L.A. He actually became a sought after plumber,
Right.
pretty famous. He worked for people like Ray Charles and other celebrities.
That's my idol, by the way.
Yeah, and then so we had a comfortable lifestyle because of it, and then he ups and changes the game again and picks up everything and moves to Alabama.
Wow.
And then in Alabama, people pay plumbers with like chickens and favors, and it's the barter system. So he couldn't really make a great living.
Right.
So he had to reinvent himself again, and he became the director of the housing authority. Well, never in the history of director of housing authorities has anyone ever had that position without having a college degree.
Right.
And so again, he changed, he changed the rules. And so he didn't really accept things. So this was the same thing. So he's like, I'm going to fight it. So we got the best surgeon. We got the best oncologist. He had this horrendous procedure called the Whipple procedure. He was in the hospital a month. And so I watched, my dad dwindle and just become emaciated, drugged up on morphine, couldn't walk, couldn't hardly talk, could not eat.
Wow.
And then afterwards, the surgeon says, we got the mass, but there's likely cancer cells still in the body.
Yeah.
Right. And so they were recommending chemo and possibly radiation.
Real quick, I'm sorry, I have to ask a question. When that happens and you have a high, what are those, T cells? I'm sorry. What are the cancerous carcinogens going through your body at that point? What do they call that? Is there a name for that?
Well, let's just call them cancer cells.
Okay, so the cancer. So what is most likely going to happen at that point to a regular person when they have cancer cells everywhere going through their body? Because I know everybody has cancer cells, correct?
Right.
Okay.
So it's different. It depends on where they go.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends on where they go. And so in my father's case, he was like, I'm not going to suffer anymore. I'm done with that. It's not shown that chemo was going to really improve his life or prolong his life anyway.
Right.
So I said, okay, so what, I'm with you. He says, well, first I want to get home. I want to get out of this hospital. I've been here a month. So we got him home, and he says, I still want to fight it. So I did some research. I found this wellness institute in San Diego called the Optimal Wellness Institute.
San Diego.
In San Diego. And I flew my father out to San Diego. We enrolled 2 weeks into
trials.
That. No, it's not a trial. It's like an alternative health wellness institute.
Okay.
And so you check in. They have nice accommodations and everything like that. And we enrolled 2 weeks. We were only able to be there a week because my father's lungs filled up with malignant fluid, basically fluid filled with cancer cells. So go back to your question, what happens to those cells that they're floating through your body? Well, it went to his lungs, and it caused him to literally drown from the inside out because these cancer cells created secretions that filled his lungs up with fluid. I had to rush him home and put a chest tube in him to drain the fluid. We were there only a week.
Oh, pneumothorax! You did it yourself to him?
Well, I didn't do it myself.
Okay.
No. I got him admitted and drained. So, but in that week that we were there, I learned more about health and wellness than I did my 4 years in medical school and the 2 years I had completed at Johns Hopkins in residency. Wow. And it wasn't that I went to top-notch programs, right. But the thing is, they focus on disease care. They focus on disease care instead of focusing on prevention and how to live at your best and how to prevent these things from ever occurring in the first place.
Right.
And so the things that we were learning is the effects of a high animal protein, so a meat-based diet, what that does to the body. We also learned about, proper nutrition, green vegetables, raw, live fruits and vegetables, the effect of breathing, proper breathing and what effect that has on your body, the mind being connected to your wellness and imagine your brain's actually connected to what goes on with your body. Imagine that.
Yeah,
right?
Wow. who would have imagined?
Right. But we don't learn about any of that. No, we don't talk about meditation. I think I spent maybe 1 day on nutrition in medical school.
One more quick question. Do you think a lot of that has to do with the fact that there's no money in it? I mean, I know that sounds like a horribly bad question, but I'm talking about there's a lot of pharmaceutical companies that have a lot of power. They have even power in Congress, it would seem, to get things done and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Do you think the chips are stacked against people, I guess is what I'm asking?
Well, if you just look at how many billions of dollars sickness and disease cost America.
Yeah.
Well, that money's being paid to someone.
Right.
And so there's a lot of money being made from disease.
Right.
And it's not just that there's like this conspiracy factor out there that wants to keep people sick. It's just the things that we ask for, the things that we demand, the things that we have at our fingertips are causing us to be ill.
Right. It's not a prevention. It's a cover.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so people much rather live the unhealthy lifestyles and then take a pill than they would actually doing the things to prevent it.
Yeah. Well, it's like love, actually. If it's easier just to let your kid do whatever they want to and go on. It's a big pain in the butt to watch them and to make sure they do things the right way, to follow through. And like you said, look at what happens with your health. You have a better chance of living a long, healthy life.
Right.
With your children, you don't take care of them, they're going to be little jackasses when they get older.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know.
Right. Well, actually, big ones. 'Cause
Big jackasses.
They sit around watching TV, getting fat, eating sugar cereal. And so when we learned all this stuff, like in my dad's case, this is stuff that he just never knew. He did all the right things that he knew how to do.
Right.
And there's a lot of people out there that are doing what they think is healthy and what they think is right and what, they think that they're doing the right thing. And it's those people that this radio show is for.
Okay.
Those people that say, you know what, I want something different for my life. I don't want to be a statistic. I'm putting my foot down. I'm saying no, I don't have to get cancer. I'm saying no, I don't have to have a heart attack.
Right.
I'm saying no, I don't have to have a stroke.
Well, I was glad you didn't come here pushing a vitamin or a product, or your book's one thing. That's not what I'm talking about. But to be, and don't get me wrong, it's not wrong if you do. But what I'm saying is, you're not here to push a product. You're here to help people.
Well, absolutely. The product is the information.
Right.
That's what the product is, and the information. Once you have it, then the second product is empowerment. Mm. So once you have that information,
explain that process.
So once you have the information, right? We're in a time of information overload. With the internet, everything is at your fingertips. And so once you have that information, the question is, how do you implement it? How do you apply that information to your life to empower yourself to make the choices and the actions that you need to actually make a difference?
Right.
And so that is the other thing that this radio show is geared for, is to say, okay, now that you have the information, how do you go about implementing it? And it's not that simple. It's not like, okay, go out and eat more fruits and vegetables and go out and exercise.
Right.
And then that's it. It would be a 30-second show, right?
Yeah.
But it's about how to get in that mindset, how to get leverage on yourself, how to get clear about what it is that you want. How do you really pull out that power personality that's unstoppable, where you can do anything that you want, even if it's hard?
Right.
How can you set yourself up to win? Set your household up where you don't have, the sugar or the processed foods right there in your face, calling your name anytime that you want a snack. You're snacking on cookies and chips and different processed foods. How to really set yourself up to win.
And unfortunately, a lot of people, this isn't just a trend that started. This is a lifelong process they need to break. I'm guilty of it myself. I couldn't believe how taking soda out of my life affected my weight, my health, the way I woke up in the morning, the way I went to bed at night. It was amazing. Just one product.
Absolutely.
One product, so.
Right. So imagine if you did that with 5 products.
Yeah. Yeah. Or something that's creating havoc. Man, now I know in my job, I have, what I do is I chase alarms sometimes, and we have what's called the major, the minor, and the critical. Mm-hmm. And then we have the informational ones. So, and I've always associated healthcare with that. You've got the informational warning signs that say, look at this. And you've got the minors that, hey, if you don't fix this, these other things could happen. So my question to you is, when you're doing your show here, how do you sit down and figure out where you're going to start? What type of, you know what I mean? Where are you going first with your show?
Yes. So those type of alarms that you're talking about, they're categories. I have 3 categories. One category is disease care. That's where I spent most of my medical career, in disease care. Okay. I was a hospitalist. I worked in the hospital. I worked in inpatient care, the ICU, the ER, crisis mode. Okay, the people that have had the heart attack already, or the stroke, or in a diabetic coma, or they've, on dialysis because of renal failure.
Right.
So that's crisis mode. That's disease care. That's where most of America lives, in disease care. Then a step to the right is prevention, and that is preventing the disease. So you're not really feeling your best, but you're not ill.
Right.
That's prevention. Screening, trying to pick up early detection. Okay. Going to get your colonoscopy to see if there's any precancerous anything there.
Right, getting chem scans in your blood or whatever.
Exactly. To pick problems up early.
Gotcha.
That's prevention.
Right.
Okay. Then you step over to the right a little bit further, and that's where you have wellness. That's where you have optimal health. That's where you have vitality. That's when you say, you know what? I'm not going to accept just feeling average. I want to have unstoppable energy. I want to be at my ideal body weight. I want to outlive not only my peers, but I want to outlive my peers' children.
Do it healthy. So you're having fun the whole time.
Exactly. Yeah. I want to live an extraordinary life.
And that's the thing. I'm telling you, a lot of people go through their lives blessed, or maybe it's because they actually are intentionally doing it, but not being sick. And to somebody who's been through something, I wouldn't say catastrophic, but major, you never know until you never realize how important your health and well-being is until it's in jeopardy.
Yes.
And then, it's like the cops say, you may not like cops, and you talk about cops until you need one, and then they're your daddy. It's same thing with, with everything like that. But, your health care, let me tell you, it's until people don't even think about it. And
absolutely.
That's the problem. You need to probably it's like your car. You can drive it until it fails, and then you're going to have that. Or you can take and do your maintenance, your routines. Why do you change the tires? Because if you don't change the tires when the tread gets low, you get a flat tire and you could get an accident and die. Why do you change your oil? There's 100 reasons. So preventive. And then your step, you're saying,
I take it a step further. I take it past prevention into what I like to call ultimate vitality. That's when you have the energy to accomplish whatever it is that you want. Unstoppable energy where you feel like a kid again.
Wow.
Where you're not just laying up, just like, feeling lethargic or just feeling tired. Oh, I don't feel like getting up to go to work, or I don't feel like going to work out or whatever. But just being able to spring out of bed with energy, happy about what you see in the mirror, and just really feeling and enjoying life. And that is something that most people don't experience because it takes the mind-body-soul connection to really have true vitality.
We're going to take a quick break. In the meantime, before we leave for the break, can you do me a favor and tell us how to get a hold of you? I mean, we're coming back, but get your name and information out there that you want.
Absolutely. So again, my name is Dr. Linell King, and you can go on Amazon.com and look up my bestseller book, Mastering Vitality. Also, you could go to the website, www.masteringvitalitynow.com. masteringvitalitynow.com.
Excellent. And also, if anybody wants to, ocdstudios.net, you can always go there and get a link to Dr. Linell King. We have something in there. Michelle created something for you, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Well, we're coming back, so don't tune out yet. We're just going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Dr. Linell King. We're live in the studio with Dr. King, Linell King, author of Mastering Your Vitality, Internal Position. Doctor, welcome back.
Happy to be back. I am excited about upcoming shows that we're doing together. We're going to be here weekly, right? Weekly, Mondays, 7 p.m. every Monday, empowering people to take their health to the next level.
Excellent. What's the name of your show?
Vitality Radio.
Vitality Radio.
Yes.
And you have, I noticed you got your website, vitalityradio.org, correct?
Yes, vitalityradio.org. It shall be up probably in the next couple days. We're doing some finishing touches on it, but you'll be able to go to vitalityradio.org and listen to archived shows, get more information. You'll also be able to go to vitalityradio.org and download a free PDF copy of my book.
Wow, there's no money in that, Doctor.
Hey, listen, I'm just trying to get the word out.
What are you going to have for? How are you proceeding forward here? What's your next week's show going to be?
Well, I'm excited. I've already. It's so funny because I didn't even know how I was going to put this show together. I just started interviewing people. I literally said, I had a vision on my vision board. I said, I want Ultimate Vitality Radio is what I called it. And I just put it out there, and I started interviewing people to tell their stories, and whether it be what they've done with themselves or what they're doing for other people.
Right.
So that I wanted, the stories that I wanted to get out to people. I didn't have a producer. I hadn't met you yet. I had no.
Actually, we reached out to find you.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Ironic.
Yeah. I was sitting there putting all this together on my own, literally sitting in my home office doing all this stuff, and out the blue, I got a phone call saying, "Hey, can you?"
I told Michelle, I was like, "Michelle, we need a doctor. I'm like, we need a doctor. I really would like to have somebody that we can bounce questions off." And I know all the other shows that are on Raz Radio, all the other shows that are on Salty Talk Radio, I'm telling you, they're going to want to utilize you as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, you will be our resident doctor, our on-call physician, if you may. But don't worry, we won't be a pain in the butt. So, specifically next week, do you have an idea yet of what's going to happen? Or
well, next week, I have a surprise. Well, okay, I can't keep surprises, so let me just go ahead and let the cat out of the bag. I interviewed the one and only Dr. Joel Fuhrman. Dr. Fuhrman is well known in the wellness community. He wrote the #1 New York bestseller, Eat to Live. He is how can I explain? He is a physician, traditional physician,
right,
that has realized that nutrition is the cure. Nutrition is the cure, and he empowers people.
Broad nutrition is the cure.
Yes. I mean, because lack of proper nutrition is what really has caused this health epidemic, this obesity epidemic in the first place. And so he is one of the few docs that really focuses on the problem, the source of the problem.
Right.
And he's written quite a few books. Another book is Super Immunity, which is also
I like the name of that book.
Yeah, Super Immunity, also on New York's bestseller list. He's been on multiple TV shows. He's just a really powerful guy, and I interviewed him
right
for the show, and so we're going to be releasing that footage.
I got you. Okay.
We're going to be releasing.
So once again, not a pusher of one thing or the other, or a pharmaceutical, or something
Correct.
you can buy online, but something that he's going to teach you how to take care of yourself with simple nutrition.
That is absolutely correct. I also have someone that's going to tell you his story. When he was about 60, 70 pounds overweight, high cholesterol, he had all of these health problems, and he's my age, he's in his 40s.
Right.
And he literally said, enough is enough. He turned his health around, and he got such great results. He lost 60 pounds in, a record time, that he started teaching other people. I mean, he is, a wonderful, wonderful soul. He's a reverend and does a lot of things for the community, but he became a health coach himself. And so I'm going to be
local community, as in here.
No. He actually, I went to college with this guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
His name is Dr. Kyle McKinney. And so I interviewed him about his journey of how he turned his life around and how he's helping people to do the same.
What's his specialty? What's he look at?
Well, he's not a physician.
Okay.
He's PhD.
I got you.
Yes, in theology.
Ooh,
yeah,
nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. All the bases are covered.
Absolutely. And then I have a person that turned her life around and got rid of some chronic illnesses through juicing. And so I have people that have done amazing things with their own health. They use their own body as that experimental research, so they can give it to you unbiased about what they did.
I just yesterday was going through Walmart. I always wanted a juicer. Found a really great set for $15. I mean, it's not expensive. It's a juicer for $15.
Mm-hmm.
You throw what you want in there and whatever combination you want. It's got a blade for something sharp. And so what I'm trying to get a point across here is that it doesn't cost $200 to buy a juicer.
Well, it depends on the quality. It's just like anything else.
Right. I'm sure, this will probably work for a while. But all I know is I made some really fantastic pineapple, and I actually added some vegetables and some fruits together, and it came out quite nice.
Yes, yes. You can. It's just like cars. You can buy a very nice, inexpensive car and get you where you want to go, or you can buy a Lamborghini. It's the same in the appliance world.
Yeah, just the ride's a little different.
Right, exactly. So we have some amazing guests coming.
Excellent.
I'm excited.
Do me a favor one more time. I can't believe this hour went by like snap gone. I think
it seemed like 15 minutes.
I think we're definitely.
I got to check. I got to check the clock.
Time goes different in this room. I've noticed.
Man,
it's bizarre.
Wow.
But I think we're definitely going to start pushing your show to 2 hours pretty soon here. Because I think you've got the content to keep going.
If the listeners call for it, if they ask for it, I'm here to serve. I'm here to do whatever.
Well, we've got Sean Raspatello, and he's the one that owns one station. And Salty, we'll just call him because he's wanted by the FBI. Just a joke. But we're going to get input from them too, see what they say. I'm pretty sure they're very excited about this. So one more time, give details, please. How to get a hold of you?
Yes, masteringvitalitynow.com. Or you can go to, in a couple of days, you can go to vitalityradio.org. You can also find my book on vitalityradio.org and download the PDF copy. But I recommend getting the hard copy because that has the pictures and the color illustrations and everything like that. You can get on that on Amazon, and that's Mastering Vitality by Dr. Linell King.
Right on. I'm telling you, I'm really looking forward to this, and we need this vein on these stations. We do not have this vein, and this is something that's going to help all our listeners, and I'm looking forward to it. Dr. King, thank you very much again for joining. I can't wait. Hopefully a year from now we'll play this first and look back, and I'll play this first interview and be like, wow, look where we got.
I know, exactly. There'll only be one first.
That's right. Again, thank you again, and thank everybody for listening on Raz Radio and Salty Talk. And look forward to next week's show.
Yeah.
7 o'clock.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll see you next week. I always wanted to say that.
See you next week. Bye-bye. Now that you have filled your mind with just what you need to gain control of your health and vitality, it's time to take action. Visit vitalityradio.org to receive your free copy of Dr. King's best-selling book, Mastering Vitality, which will give you simple and practical guidelines customized just for you. We'll see you on the next episode of Vitality Radio. The contents of Vitality Radio is for informational purposes only. The content is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified healthcare providers with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Never disregard or delay seeking professional medical advice because of something you have heard on Vitality Radio.